Hello, hello, and good morning. Up early in the morning, dressed in black. Don't ask why, but I'm down in a suit and tie. Yes, yes, we are up early in the morning here on the West Coast, coming to you because I just wanted to get a fresh start to the day as this free agency period is well underway, and there's lots of exciting news, lots of distracting news. Distracting as in it's going to distract us from our purposes, right? We're going to overreact to so much of this stuff. We're going to get off track. I find myself getting a little off track in these drafts now, which is why we are here to bring you some live drafts here on Underdog. We're going to go into a big board, but first we're going to go ahead and discuss some of the transactions that have been happening in the NFL regarding the free agency signings and certain trades and stuff that are getting rescinded. What the hell? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about doing this early show. Yeah, I had to go to sleep early, which I don't tend to do, so I can get up and bring you all this fresh, new taste of the show, right? And we're going to also come back maybe tonight, man. I'm so excited. I might do a double tonight, right? Want to say what's up to Pepper Tony. All right. The original AI. All right. Yeah, we want to go ahead and get started. Thank you for checking in, Pepper Tony. Appreciate you. All right. And so we are going to introduce ourselves. We are gentle and blissful, gifted and beautiful, generous and benevolent, and most appreciatively, we are grateful and blessed. Guidelines to achieve and build GAB Sports. It's your boy, Young Moolah. And I'm also excited. I want to go ahead and drop a new intro video I've been working on. And I want to shout out to Bliss Love and Hissop Bliss Collective to help produce this video with the music and lyrics by Young Moolah. Yes, Young Moolah is a lyricist. We're in this game serving a strategic purpose. From the underground, now I reach the surface. When we win this chip, it ain't a fluke. You know we worked for this. Yeah, so that's what we are talking about. Go ahead and drop the video intro. I went with the full unedited. I know it's a bit long, so bear with me. See how you like this intro. All right.
Oh, we rise, we rise, we rise. Oh, we climb, we climb, we climb. Oh, this time, son, we go. Victory on our mind. Gotta work, push, go. Gotta work, push, go. Let's see how I start this shift. We in this game, serving a strategic purpose. Went from underground, now I've reached the surface. When we claim the chip, it ain't a fluke, you know we work for this. New breed superhero, a hybrid dragon plus Michael Jordan, breathing fire into this game. In the air, I'm steady floating, destined for this role. Since my birth years, golden best ballin' for life. It's Moolah on a mission. Tommy hot takes analysis, on point delivered with precision. Setting moves to this game, invoking martial law. Going all out, we won't stop. Win, lose, or draw. Oh, we rise, we rise, we rise. Oh, we climb, we climb, we climb. This time, Zion, we go. Victory on our mind. Joe slow harmony chant. Joe slow harmony chant. Joe slow harmony chant. Victory on our mind. Trust the low harmony chant. Work, push, go. Giant work, push, go. Let's see how I start this. What we in this game, serving a strategic purpose. Went from underground, now I've reached the surface. When we claim the chip, it ain't a fluke, you know we work for this. New breed superhero, a hybrid dragon plus Michael Jordan, breathing fire into this game. In the air, I'm steady floating, destined for this role. Since my birth year is golden.
All right. Yeah, the intro video debuted here on GAB Sports. Yeah, that song is fire, man. I just had to play the long version. Probably will shorten the intro, but wanted to get the full video out there and go ahead and roll with that. Yeah, all the video information is in the description. Shout out to His South Bliss Collective. All right, so we are going to go ahead and jump over into a discussion about this free agency frenzy, right? I mean, it's just bananas, right? I mean, it's bonkers right now what's happening in the free agency with the amount of money that's being tossed around. To me, these are average players, but since they're getting such good contracts, we got to expect these guys to have some decent roles, right? I mean, that's how I look at it, is that these guys have to get pretty good roles out of these contracts, right? It's no other options. Doesn't seem like. Going to go ahead and change the lighting just a little bit. Okay. So yeah, and so we're going to start off in the AFC, and I'm going to have a little fun with this. And what you are about to see is in no way an endorsement for what's going on over there in the Middle East. You know, this illegal, illicit war and the military actions that we have undertaken. It's no way what you're about to see here is no way an endorsement of that. As I'm going to basically have a little fun with guys who have been impacted with these free agency moves. So we're going to pretty much bomb them, right? Because their fantasy viability has been cratered. And so we're going to see who got nuked in this fantasy space. And so we're going to start off in the AFC, and we'll start off in the AFC East. Just a quick rundown of some of the teams. We have the Jets, who have signed your boy, Geno Smith, right? And Geno Smith, to me, I'm a Raiders fan. He was horrible. You know, this guy was not good at all, right? He was just not good. It's one of those things where I watched him closely, expecting some things to happen, and I saw just some cringeworthy things, right? I mean, this guy just wilted under the first sign of pressure all the time, right? I mean, he would just wilt. And he also made bad decisions. It wasn't just the offensive line. The offensive line was not good. I will agree with that. But he was also not good in his decision-making. Yeah, he was not good in his decision-making, Geno Smith. He threw into coverage way too often. Seems like he wasn't seeing the field, right? And if you're not seeing the field correctly, I don't think this is going to help the guys that he needs to help this year, namely Garrett Wilson and your boy, A.D. Mitchell. So for that reason, we got your boy, A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. You're nuked by the signing of Geno Smith to the Jets. Your fantasy value is nuked today and moving forward. I am totally off the Jets offense this season because they got Geno Smith instead of a guy like they could have gotten basically like Tua Tagovailoa. They could have traded for Mac Jones. They could have got Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, somebody. Geno Smith is not the answer, not the solution. I think this offense will be terrible this year. And so our first nuke of the day goes out to A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Your value has been cratered by the signing of Geno Smith as your starting quarterback. Yeah, no, some people are thinking that Gino's going to play great. I think Gino is washed. I watched a lot of this guy, and he just doesn't seem to be a leader or a guy who can really get the job done right now. He's making poor decisions, are really baffling to me. And I just see that as a trend that will continue. So the Jets, I'm not really high on Breece Hall as well coming back. That backfield gets a little bit more crowded. We do expect Breece Hall to be the lead dog there, but I mean, can we be sure that there's no split here? Like, where these backups, Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen, get a decent chunk of that split. I mean, to where Breece Hall is only like a 60% player, maybe 55% player. We can't be sure that that's not going to be the case. So I don't like this Jets situation. I would hope they would actually trade Breece Hall, but who knows? Maybe that's still to come. All right. Yeah, let me check in on some news so I can be up to date on all the fantasy news. You check in on X with Underdog NFL. And so if we want to move on over to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, Malik Willis. I know a lot of you guys are excited about this Malik Willis signing. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think Malik Willis is that good of a quarterback. I just do not think that. Right? Daniel Jones is supposed to be ready for the season, and so he re-ups with the Colts. 2 years, $88 million. Whew, what a price tag, right? Yeah, these guys are getting desperate out here, man, in these streets, man. They're very desperate. Trey Henderson, if you haven't heard, is going to the Ravens in lieu of the trade being rescinded for Max Crosby. Yeah, how about that? And so we got Trey Hendrickson going there to the Bills. Don't see any other impactful news this morning. So again, continuing with the AFC East, yeah, Miami Dolphins. Getting Malik Willis may seem like a prize to them, and maybe it will work out. But for this year, I'm not really excited. But I'm not going to give them the nuke button of Jalen Waddle. It was close. I was close to giving you the nuke, man, the nuclear bomb. I was close to dropping it on you, Jalen Waddle. But we'll go ahead and pass and just say this is a neutral signing. I don't think it benefits them all that much as opposed to what they've already had going there under Mike McDaniel by adding Malik Willis and this Bobby Slowick. Neutral. All right. Buffalo Bills getting DJ Moore. I think that's good. It can only be good for Josh Allen, right? So that's a positive. And I don't think they're done. They'll probably maybe look at to bring in another receiver. But I'm going to tell you one guy who this impacts, right? And one guy who is about to get nuked. Keon Coleman, you are nuked by this signing of DJ Moore coming to the Bills. Your value's gone. You will probably be an afterthought, maybe not even activated on certain days. Keon Coleman is getting nuked by this signing of the Buffalo Bills with DJ Moore, trading for DJ Moore. Yeah, not really excited about his prospects. Keon Coleman, I think this guy's going down as a bust. And so I think the Bills will probably move on from him after this year is my expectation. And so Keon Coleman also gets the nuke. All right, so any other AFC East news that we need to discuss? The Patriots. Yeah. Who did they get? Romeo Doubs. Yes, Romeo Doubs, pretty solid receiver. Is he better than Diggs right now? I would say no. I think Diggs is either slightly better than him right now, and Diggs used to be way better than him. But even right now, I think Diggs is either slightly better than him or it's pretty much a wash, pretty much neutral. So I don't look at this as being like any kind of upgrade here. It's not really an upgrade for the Patriots here by going from Dobbs by going from Diggs to Dobbs. It's not really an upgrade, but it's also not really going to crush any of these guys' fantasy value. I mean, Kyle Williams is going late anyway. So at that late of a price, and you're hoping maybe he gets an expanded role, but that late of a price doesn't really matter for him. And so I think he's a guy who will still have a chance to emerge. Even with this signing, he could split more of the outside work, right? Steve-O, checking in. Hey, what's going on, buddy? So the Pats need another weapon. Yeah, I think they do. And they really didn't address that deep threat that they really need, because Dobbs is not really a deep threat. He's just going to pretty much play in the intermediate areas of the field. And so I think they may still do that, but also Kyle Williams could be that guy. If they give him a little bit more time. I'm still holding out hope on that. I think he has a little bit more explosion than Butte. And so I would look for those guys to, as it is structured, to kind of share that role. And we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward. They did also bring over, I believe, a guard, but I think they also need a tackle, right? I mean, a tackle would pretty much push them to move Will Campbell inside to guard, which I think they have to do as well. So the Patriots will still be looking to make some moves here, whether it's via free agency or draft. Look for them to continue to do something here. All right. And so who else do we need to discuss? Nobody else in the AFC East. That's the rundown there. And so we'll move over to the AFC North. Go a little bit quicker on some of these, because we just want to talk about the impactful things. Well, Trey Hendrickson coming to Baltimore, how does that impact our fantasy game? Probably not much. It's good for them, maybe. I mean, they're just swapping Crosby for Hendrickson, slightly downgraded to me, but I don't see anything that they've done on the opposite side of the ball other than lose Tyler Lindenbaum, which could cripple, or at least impact their running game. And the big fullback, that was a key guy, Patrick Ricard, going over to the New York Giants. I think that's an underrated player that they have utilized as a lead blocker. He's basically an extra offensive lineman. And so I think that will cause a little bit of consternation for them in their run approach. And so they're going to need to address those holes. And they also need an upgrade probably at the guard, maybe some reinforcements, at least some backups and long-term prospects at the tackle spot. So that offensive line better get going for the Ravens, or they'll be in a lot more shootouts than people think, even if they improve that defense, because they could be hampered with a stagnant running game out the gate. I don't know what this guy's new approach is, whoever the offensive coordinator is. Forget his name. Some Brenton Doyle or Declan Doyle or something like that. Yeah, these guys with no experience, we don't know how proficient they will be in installing like good running schemes and things like that. So they better upgrade that offensive line. That's one thing, right? And so the AFC North, I guess the most impactful offensive signing that we can look at is who? The Bengals. What did they do? Not much on offense. We got the Cleveland Browns getting a couple offensive linemen. All right, that's great. That'll help them. And then we also have the Pittsburgh Steelers making a trade, right? It's not a free agent signing, but that's probably the most impactful signing so far, acquiring Michael Pittman from the Indianapolis Colts. But I don't believe that Pittman hurts anybody there. I think he'll actually help DK Metcalf and the tight end room, which be manned by Pat Frymer. I think the signing of Pittman, helps his team out. He gives them another valuable target, another reliable guy over the middle of the field, and this will allow DK some space, to go ahead and
run those deep routes. And so Aaron Rodgers could be a sneaky pick, right? So Aaron Rodgers is helped by this signing. And the Pittsburgh offense under Mike McCarthy, could lean a little bit more to the pass than they have in the past, right? Lean more to the pass than they have in the past. Under Mike Tomlin, yeah, this could become more of a passing offense. Not like just total volume, but more volume than they've experienced before. And what's up, Hartman? Yeah, thanks for tuning in to the show, right? Appreciate you. All right. And so the AFC North pretty much is looking like Michael Pittman so far, right? That's the biggest news on offense. And I think that does help the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, we'll shift over to the AFC South, where there's a twofold circumstance that I really love here in these best ball streets, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars losing Travis Etienne, but this elevates my guy, Bashal Tutin. Yeah, I'm so enamored with Bashal Tutin this year. Since day one, I kind of predicted that he would, Etienne would leave, and I think Tutin is a strong breakout candidate for this season. I'm not changing that stance here. And BTJ probably will not be traded. I know there's a lot of speculation. I just don't see a team that's emerging in Jacksonville. Why they would be so quick to give up on a first-round talent who's only in his third year. This is probably a year where they need to see something, like a bounce-back year, of course. But they're not going to move off right now. So BTJ is not going anywhere. Never bought into that. Excuse me. I'll take a little drink. So the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, you've been helped by this Travis Etienne news. Bashal Tutin and LaQuint Allen at this point. Maybe they bring in somebody in the draft. Maybe they bring in a lower-tier free agent as some of these for depth purposes. But I still see Bashal Tutin exploding this year and having a big year. Also, we got the Colts, right? They re-upped Alec Pierce, and they just re-upped Daniel Jones. Yeah, it's big news. The Daniel Jones experience will return for a second iteration. Yeah, and I think Daniel Jones really sparked that team. I mean, he was really helped out by a fantastic running game, which I don't look for them to change anything. Steichen's going to pretty much go with the same formula. Utilize that running game, even though they passed a lot on first down. That was because people were loading up to stop Jonathan Taylor. And so you had some success passing on first down. People act like, oh, he opened up everything. No, he didn't. Daniel Jones didn't open up anything. He was a byproduct of Jonathan Taylor's presence. So people were more concerned about him. So you got some openings now to pass on the early downs. And so they took advantage of that, which was wise to take advantage of that early down passing. So, but Daniel Jones was not really the catalyst. He played well, but Jonathan Taylor's the catalyst here. And so with Michael Pittman leaving, I think that's a great thing for the receivers that are left behind. Michael Pittman was one of those over-the-middle kind of guys. And so now Josh Downs and Tyler Warren, you can expect an increase in targets. I'm expecting an increase in targets. So I think this helps those guys out. And also bringing back Alec Pierce. I don't know if this guy is a target magnet, target earner, however you want to phrase it. So I don't look for his role to change all that much. He's a big play guy, and that's what he does. He does it well. But I don't look for his role to expand per se. He may get a few more targets, but he's not going to just become some guy that is a featured go-to guy just because he's getting this big contract. I don't think he's built like that. I don't think he's that kind of a player. So unless he just really improves his route running, he's an underrated guy. I do think he can be utilized in a bigger role than what he's been doing, but I don't think he's just that kind of a feature dude. Like if the defense kind of just locks in on him, if you get the number one corner and the defense's attention, he's not going to be the kind of guy that can just still exploit those opportunities. But, it's a good signing. They brought most of the team, most of the band came back. And so we look for the Indianapolis Colts to be back on track this year. the Tennessee Titans bringing in Wan'Dale Robinson. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm not super duper excited about a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson. He fills a role. He's a slot guy. It's not very dynamic or anything like that. So to me, it's just a role. He's a role player, and he fits the role that they want of being, the slot guy. I think Shamir DK is still heavily in the mix here. And a guy who I'm just not really high on is Alec Ayamanor. I think he's a replaceable asset. And so you're close to getting the nuke here, buddy, but I don't think this is going to nuke you because it's not your position. But the guy, in case anybody had a little bit of concern about this guy and you wanted to draft him, Efton Chisholm, you just got. All right, your value is crushed by this signing here, Efton Chisholm. So not Efton Chisholm. He's on the Patriots. But whatever slot guy is over here on this team, what's the guy that went to college with Cam Ward? The slow guy? Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking of, not Efton Chisholm. The slow guy who was probably going to play the slot maybe this year. And Tyler Lockett, if you're still around. No, Tyler Lockett got released last year. But whoever's in the slot, you are nuked by this Wan'Dale Robinson signing, right? Slot Tennessee receivers. Done. No value. So Wan'Dale Robinson is here to man the slot. I don't really love this for my guy Gunnar Helm, though, the Wan'Dale Robinson signing. Don't love this. I don't think he's nuked here. But he's not going to get all those targets over the middle that he could have gotten if there was maybe a lesser individual such as Wan'Dale Robinson manning the slot. But, he'll do all right, though, I think. He'll be one of those. Yeah, Restrepo. That's it. Restrepo's the guy. He's nuked. Slow man Restrepo, you're nuked by this signing. But, yeah, a guy like Gunnar Helm, I think, is also slightly impacted, though, here. I was looking at him as probably, having a pretty big season, maybe a potential breakout. And it still could happen, but I just don't think this helps him. And I think they also brought over maybe a backup tight end or something like that as well, maybe. And so that's our AFC South. We're going to go also to the Houston Texans, right? The Houston Texans. Yeah, who did they bring over? David Montgomery, right? In a trade, right? They gave up, I guess, a backup lineman and a pick. But I think that Demo is not quite as good as Mixon was a couple years ago. I don't want to compare that apples to apples to picking up Mixon a couple years ago. I think Mixon at that point still had a little bit more juice than what Demo has. But Demo's, can move the chains, man. He can keep them ahead of the sticks, which is one of their big problems. They had a lot of 3-and-outs, man. I mean, this team just is very frustrating. A lot of times they just go 3-and-out too much. But the addition of David Montgomery will help their short yardage and goal line packages as well, I believe. And so Demo, who's rising up the boards, obviously, but I don't think this really transforms their offense. I think they still need to do some other things maybe here in the draft or in the offseason. I think this is a step in the right direction. But one thing that it does, I believe, though, is Woody Marks. Your fantasy value is nuked with this signing of David Montgomery. He's going in the crapper. Woody Marks. This wasn't very efficient last year, and I guess they figured they got to do something different. So Woody Marks, he'll get the nuke button. And it's going to be one of those things where I'm not sure it's going to be a split where they're using this guy in a fashion where it's, definitely not Gibbs fashion, but with Demo, I don't think it's going to be some sort of split like that they had in Detroit with Demo. I think Demo pretty much takes the lion's share of this backfield, probably a 66-33 type split, where Woody Marks maybe just comes in on some of the passing downs or whatever. But Woody Marks' value is nuked by this signing here. And so that concludes our AFC South recap. And if we want to go ahead and go over to the AFC West, yeah, that's my division with my Las Vegas Raiders. I'm so used to saying the Oakland Raiders for decades, but the loss, it still sounds funny saying it doesn't roll off the tongue so easily, the Las Vegas Raiders. Anyway, going with the Las Vegas Raiders, they were very, very busy in free agency, and mostly with the defense, though, right? They had a lot of defensive signings, so that'll help their defense. But the number one signing to me in all of free agency was the Raiders landing Tyler Linderbaum, who was the crown jewel of free agency, in my opinion. And so he's really going to anchor that offensive line. He'll allow Jackson Powers Johnson to move over to right guard. And then we have a guy, Caleb Rogers, people aren't really aware of, but I was following my Raiders obviously very close last year. And he's this rookie, third-round pick. He was one of the compensatory picks, I believe, that the Raiders had. And he came on strong late in the season, man. There was rave reviews from the analysts. PFF even, I believe, gave him good grades over the last portion of the season. But, yeah, we were getting a lot of good information, a lot of good praise from, the coaching staff about Caleb Rogers, who I may have been filling in fact, for Colton Miller, who was injured. So he's returning, Colton Miller, at the tackles position. And then they got this Caleb Rogers revelation to insert into one of these spots here. So the Raiders' offensive line is already improved just with the signing of Linderbaum. And I don't think they're done. They'll probably still bring in either some more reinforcements, either through free agency or the draft at the guard. And the Raiders getting back Max Crosby. I'm kind of, I don't know, torn about this, right? I was expecting those picks, to come in handy this year and next year, especially next year in that class. So, having 2 first-rounders next year, to me, was going to be great. But if they are indeed holding on to Max Crosby for this season with the signings that they've already made, yeah, this Raiders defense is going to go from damn near worst to first. Yeah, I look for them to make a big leap up in the defensive standings if they retain Max Crosby. So that will definitely help the team overall if he's healthy. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding what's really going on here with Max Crosby. But I look for this return to the team. Hey, man, it could be a blessing in disguise, right? It's like, be careful what you wish for sometimes when you trade guys or whatever. And the Ravens might want to do that too, because if Max Crosby is right, he's way better player than Trey Hendrickson, in my opinion. Way better. It's not even close. But we'll see how it works out. And but on the offensive side of the ball, the Raiders also got Jalen Naylor. I think they kind of overpaid, in my opinion, but it's not my money, whatever. As long as he comes in and produces whatever he's getting paid, good for him. Good for you, buddy. And so I think this is one of those things where adding a Naylor, I'm going to go ahead and have to do it. Jalen Naylor. Yep. We're looking at Jack Besh. Jack Besh, your fantasy value has received the nuclear bomb. Yes, Jack Besh, you are no longer relevant in my eyes because I think they kind of play a similar style, would be a Naylor and Jack Besh. And so the total outside guy has still got to be maybe Thornton. I mean, believe it or not, I think Thornton is still going to be the outside guy. He'll get a shot. He's got some speed. And then Trey Tucker, I think will be involved in 2 receiver sets as well with Jalen Naylor. And so I think it's one of those things where they're just getting too many guys. If they're going to sign another guy in free agency, another wide receiver, I think somebody's got to get cut, right? So the room's going to get crowded if they bring in another guy. I was hoping that they bring in Shaheed, but I guess the price got a little steep for their liking. And so they pivoted over to Naylor, who I'm not a huge fan of, but, I hope it works out. He does have some ability, and maybe they got a system. He maybe fits this system. Maybe they've identified this is a guy who fits our system. Kubiak must have identified this guy. And so they're going to roll with that. And now we want to go over to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking pretty good here with the signing of Kenneth Walker. And they just re-signed Tyquan Thornton as maybe looked as an afterthought signing. But to me, he's their deep guy, right? And so this doesn't help Xavier's worthy status. It doesn't nuke him, but it doesn't help him either. But back to Kenneth Walker. I'm on the fence about the Kenneth Walker signing as far as fantasy purposes. Actually, going to the Chiefs, is that better than if he would have stayed with the Seattle Seahawks with Charbonnet out probably the whole season, or at least most of the season? I can't say that it's better. We're reacting, or the market in Bestball is reacting as if this is some great upgrade that he went to the Chiefs instead of staying with the Seahawks. And we knew that he would probably go to either the Chiefs or the Saints or back to Seattle. I think those are the only people who were willing to spend money, as we can see, on a running back. And so the Seahawks declined to spend money. They'd rather spend it on Shaheed for the return game, as well as the third receiver role, or third receiver, who knows. And they decided to invest their capital there. And I think that the Chiefs, I don't see that as a huge upgrade for Kenneth Walker's fantasy output. And he's jumped up a round and a half pretty much to be going in the 1-2 turn now. And you guys go ahead and have at it. I think I'll be passing at that price. I'll just stick with my shares that I have. Every blue moon, if he falls a little mid-late second, okay, I'll grab a share. But in the range he's going now, from 11 to 14, 15 or so, I'll be passing, because too many people, in my opinion, have the late third round shares, and so you're getting a 2v2 swap that's not advantageous. It's not crippling for you, but it's not also an advantage for you either to be drafting him in the second round and pairing him up with guys in the late third, as opposed to pairing Kenneth Walker up with the neighbors, the Jeffersons, and the not Amon-Ra, but Drake Londons or whoever. I think those are better pairings. So I'll be passing on Kenneth Walker here at that price. And the Denver Broncos re-upping J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, I'm a big J.K. Dobbins guy. Always have been. Love this guy's running instincts, running ability. And guess what? Yeah. J.K. Dobbins re-signing with the Denver Broncos nukes the fantasy value of R.J. Harvey. Yes, totally nukes it. At his price, I am not a buyer of R.J. Harvey. I was off this guy already because I knew they would probably bring in somebody. But J.K. Dobbins returning. R.J. Harvey, you get the nuclear bomb because your value is way overpriced at this point. Yeah, way overpriced. So I'll be loading up once again, my third year in a row, I'll be loading up on J.K. Dobbins. And I see this as something that it's going to be a story, right? Some people are R.J. Harvey truthers, and maybe they look at this as, oh, wow, he's going to grow since it's the second year and all that. But Look at the money they gave J.K. Dobbins. I mean, they gave this guy like, what, $10 million per year? Shh, he's the featured guy. Yeah. R.J. Harvey, you're the change of pace back. When you give a guy $10 million coming back into the system, into the fold, he's the starter, right? So J.K. Dobbins is starting. He gets a real big bump up here. And who else we need to look at on the Denver Broncos? I don't know. Are they going to bring in a tight end? I think they bring in a tight end via the draft. So we'll see about that. The Los Angeles Chargers, right? The Chargers did not bring over a receiver. I didn't think they would bring over a receiver. It just didn't make sense, right? But they did, I believe, get a fullback. And the fullback is going to Nick Ingold, or I believe Alec Ingold. I believe is that who they got. And I believe that's going to push the Chargers into a power run game, even more so than they already had under Roman, because I think they're going to do a lot of power run game, play action stuff, hit you deep. I think this is going to be an explosive offense, man, under Mike McDonald. And so I think this really helps Omarion Hampton, the signing of Nick Ingold. But they need to go ahead and address, I don't know if they did in free agency, if they address the offensive line. It's possible that they already have, and I'm just unaware of this. We check some things here. But yeah, the 49ers just released Brandon Ayuk. Ho-ho! And you know where he's going. We already connected the tea leaves to this. Yeah, it's almost a done deal. It'll be a prove it to me deal. No doubt about it. Steve, you should be happy. It's Brandon Ayuk. I've got him coming to your Washington Commanders on a 1-year incentive-laden deal. It's not even a question that this will happen. You have Adam Peters, who was probably involved in drafting Brandon Ayuk. And you also have the connection of Jaden Daniels and Brandon Ayuk being pretty good friends, childhood friends. And so Brandon Ayuk will be released by the Niners, it says, and heading to your Commanders. Yeah, that's going to happen. All right. Also, AFC West, who haven't we covered? Washington is in the NFC. So we won't do any NFC today. We'll probably save that for tonight because, yeah, I may come back for a second live stream tonight. I'm excited with this free agency. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a draft right now over here on Underdog. As we've covered basically the critical AFC signings. And so we'll save the NFC for our live stream tonight as we do a double header, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Chargers O-line. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Chargers O-line. They have some guys returning. Both of their stud tackles will both be returning. And so, yeah, I look for that Chargers run game to be pretty electric. And Omarion Hampton has got to be one of my top targets here in this phase of the cycle of drafting. And so let's go ahead and jump over into a draft without further ado. Okay. All right. We want to go ahead and jump into a big board. All right. Thank you all for joining us here at GAB Sports. Yes. Appreciate you all. We can't do this without your support. Go ahead and smash the like button. Yes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. For anybody listening, I know it's up early here, but just imagine how early I'm up. I'm here on the West Coast. Started here at 8:45 this morning on the West Coast. That's 11:45. That's midday for you guys. This is early for me. And so I appreciate your support. Just want to go ahead and try out a new time slot just to see how I like it. And I'm excited about getting into these streets. So if you want to go ahead, help a brother out, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and follow us on social media at GAB for Young. It's GAB, the number 4, YUUNG. Appreciate you all. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into a big board. Let me sign up on my phone because I always get this location error stuff when I do it as I'm streaming for some reason. So I don't worry about doing it on my computer. So I'll go ahead and sign up on my phone. If you're feeling very generous, anybody want to go ahead and tweet out a live draft on Underdog starting now? All right, let's go ahead and enter. Big board. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We are in. Oh, what did I? All right, we're in. 3 more to start. So it should fill here shortly. All right. So one of the things that I want to focus on is trying not to overreact to some of this news, right? I know a lot of people are excited. They think, oh, this does this does that. This signing here does this signing does that. Remember, they're not done, right? Teams aren't done signing players in this free agency period. This is just the first wave of the free agency. And there's going to be a draft. So there could still be additional players, additional holes to fill. And so we got to be mindful of that. I don't want to overreact to some of these landing spots that we have out here, even if they're kind of favorable. They're not complete. Most of them are not going to be complete. But that's the way it is. You know, people overreact. We tend to always do that. Still waiting on 2. And one person, it's about to fill. All right, what draft slot do we get? We got the 12th spot. I'm not mad at that. All right. What we got? Oh, we got my man Hartman in here at the number 9 slot. All right. Wow, it's number of red badges. What are y'all up there this for, man? 0 Fuchs in the number 3 hole. Don't recognize many more dudes. DJ Speedy, I think I've seen him before. Fresco 154, I think I've seen that one. All right, shout out to everybody. Anybody in here? We don't want any lurkers. Let yourself be known that you're in listening here if you are. Otherwise, good luck to all. TJ or TJ, very familiar with him and from the DFS space. Let's see what your skills are like in Bestball, buddy. I haven't seen you much in the Bestball streets, but I know you're a dynamic DFS player. All right. Yes, Hartman is in. Yes, thank you, buddy, for joining me for this early morning drafting. All right. What's our strategy here on the corner? Are we going to just pull anybody up? Or are we just going to go with our rankings? Looks like we will probably just go with our rankings. What is the ADP looking like? Is there any dynamic shifts? What's Kenneth Walker now? 21? All right. Amon Ra goes 9 to Hartman. Solid pick. Can't go wrong with that. James Cook, 7th. Huh? Okay. TJ or TJ. The number 8 spot takes a guy I have no interest in. All right. We are going to go with this guy for sure. And we're going to add a Trey McBride share. We don't have any thus far. This will be my first Trey McBride share. Yeah. We didn't get to the NFC, but the signing of which quarterback did they get? Didn't they get some average guy? Whatever quarterback they sign, it's not going to impact our guy, Jacoby Brissett, it looks like. So Jacoby Brissett looks like he's intact as the starter there because I know they signed someone, but I can't slip in my mind who the Cardinals did sign. Some average Joe quarterback, right? Who we don't even need to discuss. So this could help the fantasy prospects of both Marvin Harrison and our guy, Trey McBride, right? And with Jacoby Brissett looking to be back under center. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the board is looking like. Hartman in the second round goes Amon-Ra, Jeremiah Love. Oh, man, I like that start. Yeah, I have been really getting some shares of Jeremiah Love here lately. And I kind of wish I would have started out a little stronger on him. In the middle of the second, I passed on him several times. But, you know, that's the way it goes. You get your shares at different points. His ADP hasn't dramatically risen, so it's not going to be as impactful. But I do want to be over the field on Jeremiah Love. That's for certain. And I'm well on my way to doing that. Oh, Breece Hall on the corner. All right. DJ Speedy with a very good combination. Gibbs, Josh Allen, Breece Hall. Can't be mad at that. Oh, we got the robust at Book It Boy going robust. All right. Let's see what we want to do. Do we want to turn up the heat on the corner here? All right. Oh, he says he's not in. You're not in on what, Hartman? That's not you? Minshew, yeah. Minshew stinks. So I don't think he's going to do anything. He's there to back somebody up. Yeah. Minshew is not a factor. Okay. We got 2 picks in front of us. Let's see who we're liking. Oh, boy, I wanted Etienne to possibly fall there. Let me get out of my ranks. He might be sniping. Okay. Lad boy. Do we go lad boy? No, we're not going lad boy. We're going this boy. Yeah. Zay Flowers, Lamar. Going with the combo. Ravens combo on the corner. All right. So we got our world famous step start here. A stud in every position. We went with the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, anchoring every position. We have a stud in every position. Yep. That's one of my favorite builds. And we're going to go ahead and hammer some of those in the coming weeks. So we got Lamar, Hampton, Flowers, Trey McBride, the stud in every position build. All right. And from this type of a start, we can go a multitude of ways. We can start hammering the receivers if we want. We can just keep balancing it out. Receiver, running back, receiver. Might take another quarterback. Don't rule it out. If you let a certain dude fall, I might take 2 stud quarterbacks. Why not? The reason why I like this strategy and I can often implement it because I don't have a problem picking later in the draft. I think there's a lot of values later in the draft that I can uncover of dudes, some breakout dudes who I have on my radar. And so I can often go heavy on a tight end position or a quarterback position earlier in the draft. And still I feel I can catch up at the receiver or running back spot. It's not tolerance for everybody. Not everybody can do it. It will make you feel a little uncomfortable. But I have faith and confidence in my abilities to uncover some later round picks. Tootin at 49. Good Lord. What is happening? It's reaching season. That's the problem. Or the excitement. It's not a problem to me. It's actually good. Go ahead and keep reaching, man. Because I do it too. If I want a certain build, if I want a guy on a certain build, I have no problem taking him well ahead of his ADP. I just hope this isn't his new ADP. But anyway, I got so much tooting. It ain't going to matter to me. He's going to have to catch up. I got shares and shares of tooting already in the books at the 75 to 80 price range. So I'm locked and loaded on that guy already. All right, coming up here, let's see what we want to do. We're going to go and get out of my rankings so I don't get sniped. Let's go by the ADP until it's our turn. There is a certain thing I want to do here, which I hope I can get. And so we have, that's Hatman, not Heartman. Okay, my bad. I was trying to connect you to this guy. He was drafting solid, man. I was trying to give you some props, Hartman. But this Hatman, TJ takes Carnell Tate. Let's see what we're looking like. He started off with 2 season backs. Then he went Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, Carnell Tate. We're on the clock. We're going 2 receivers. We like this guy. And we're going to back him with this guy. Christian Watson. Plenty of shares. Marvin Harrison. We got the double Arizona already. Let's work that one out. We got the 1, 1, 3, 1 through 6. Okay. Let's see what we're coming up on. We got the 6th round underway. Joe Burrow, early 6th. Does he have T. Higgins? Yes, he does. Got a nice stack there. McConkey, Waddle, A-Chain, Waddle. The dual little team stack as well going. Maybe he finishes off with Malik Willis as well. Fresco 154. We know that's your plan. I won't interfere with it, buddy. I tell you that. I'm not a big believer right now in Malik Willis, so you can have that stack all you want. If it's up to me, I won't be sniping you. Good luck to you on that. It could work. Hey, I'm not saying it can't work. I just won't be buying into it. I'm getting a few shares of Waddle because he does have a pretty good deep ball, Malik Willis, right? I just am concerned about, can he really read the field, and will defenses be able to adjust over time once they keep seeing this guy start after start, right? And can he counter that adjustment, right? Once you get film on dudes, they have to improve their game, right? Yeah, you have to improve your game once people have a film and they have a book on you. And I question, he just has to prove it to me, right? Maybe he can, Malik Willis. Maybe he can. But he got to show me. I'm from Missouri, man. Not really from the West Coast, but you know what I'm saying. Show me state, right? All right. Jaylen Warren. Oh, man. You happy about that signing? I'm not happy about that signing for Jaylen Warren's prospect. Right? They're getting Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle. He didn't crater Jaylen Warren. He always was this close to getting the nuke button, Jaylen Warren. But I think this hurts Jaylen Warren, for sure. And I will definitely not be taking him at current value. Chuba, wow, man, there's a lot of things going on in this draft. Reaching season. It's that time of year. It's the season to be reaching. Yes. Let's see what we want to do here. We got, oh man, can we go with the triple? Are they going to give me the triple? Maybe. We're going to take it. What's running back looking like? Let's go ahead and take a running back here. In fact, we're going to take Rico Dowdle. Let's take Rico. And we're going to go ahead and do the triple. A little pricey, but hey, man, we want to alternate some games here. Yeah, locking up the Arizona full stack. Yeah. And currently constructed, the Cardinals don't have much depth at the receiver spot. I'm sure they're going to bring in somebody, but they have a clear pecking order. I don't think anybody they bring in impacts that pecking order there. And so we went with the full Arizona stack. Yeah. We got both receivers and Trey McBride, different build from what we've done. And so we're going to go ahead and build off of this. Okay. Last couple of rounds here. Yeah, what do you guys think about the quarterback market right now? Right? I mean, what's going to happen with Kyler? Is he just guaranteed to go to Minnesota? Or might he have to take a spot where he's going to have to go compete or be a backup or something? It's starting to get a little dicey out here. If Minnesota does not land this guy, where does Kyler go? Got any other options here? Bestball on call. Thank you, buddy. Gotcha. Smashing the like button. Thank you, buddy. Checking in. We might do 2 drafts just as people start to wake up. Maybe they see we're streaming and they come in. So, yeah. Maybe one more draft. Let's add a little music ambiance to the equation. Here we go. Little loafy. Little loafy. All right, up in 1 pick. Oh, a couple of picks. All right. Rondell. Well, that's pretty much where he's been going. Quentin Johnson. A little bit of a fall there. Huh? Any other guys available who we like here? My rankings. Let's see. Denzel Boston. I'm going to go ahead and add a running back. My highest ranked guy left is this guy. All right, let's do this. Yeah, going with the Green Bay stack. I'm a stacker. Yeah, I know a lot of people are anti-stacking, especially in this free draft. Hear a lot of people talking about it's not that beneficial. I disagree totally. Yeah, there's that week. There's always that week where just a team explodes, right? They go off for like 40 points or 35 points, get like 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. If you can capture all of those touchdowns or the majority of that in a given week with your stack, and if it happens at the critical time, because even week 14 is a critical time, right? Week 14 is right before the playoffs. You come up with a big game right there from your full stack that you got. That's invaluable. So to me, stacking never is a detriment if you're building it the right way and with the right teams. I mean, if you're getting these explosive teams, I'll take a full stack any day of the week of an explosive team. So we got a Jordan Love stack, Jordan Love double. We're working on the Arizona full stack. And we got Lamar Flowers with the skinny. Yeah, I don't need to add much more to that one. Yeah. This is a different build from what we've already acquired or built so far in our portfolio. So we're liking this build here. We're liking it. Let's see what TJ is doing. Fannin, Pollard, Purdy, Dowds. All right. Zero Fuchs coming out of the 3-hole. 2-4-4-1 build. Got some good backs. Big Dog, Travion, Judkins, Dobbins, my guy, yeah. I'm just letting this draft flow. Let's see what we can do here at the next spots. Certain positions are getting thin. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to land this plane how we always do with some of our top plays late in the draft to give us some upside potential. That's what we're trying to do, man. We're drafting for upside. Yeah. What's the quarterback position looking like? Okay. We need a running back. Do we go Connor? Definitely going to take this guy. We want some upside. All right, Mike Washington. James Conner with Tyler Algier. Do we dare do it? Let's get a share of this guy. May get a job where he's in a committee. Rachaad White. Yeah, he might get a job where he's splitting some kind of backfield with somebody. Double up on the backs right there. The backs are getting a little thin. So we took Mike Washington and Rachaad White. Pulled both of those guys up a little bit, but we're on the corner. We don't never mind doing that. It's just one of those things you sometimes have to do because they weren't getting back to me. So we did that. They fit the build. Maybe one of these guys ends up in Seattle. How about that? That'd be nice. Mike Washington Jr. or Rachaad White and or both of them. Yeah, ending up in Seattle. It's a possibility. You can't rule that out. Yeah. I would not be opposed to that at all, especially on this build here. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what the board looks like here in the later rounds. We're a little more than halfway through this draft, this big board draft here, coming at you early in the morning on the West Coast, midday for all of you others. It's your boy, Young Moolah, GAB Sports, guidelines to achieve and build. Thank you for coming. Please take the time to check in. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Smash the like button. We appreciate you. We dearly do. We value each and every one of you. And so, we want to go ahead and see what we got coming up on the 13th round. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Yeah. Don't you do it. Yeah, Kyler Murray went in the 10th. Yeah. Malik Willis. Oh, guy didn't get his Malik Willis with the A-Chan Waddle, huh? Waited a little too long, man. You knew these guys was gonna go for it. We are up next. Oh yeah, I gotta bump Trey Benson down. He got nuked today. Okay, we're gonna go Jacoby. Any running backs we like here? Braylon. No, we don't want to take him this early though. Pat Bryant. Let's do this. Gonna take a Travis Hunter share. Don't have many of them. Don't have hardly any of them. But we'll take one just in case we're wrong about him playing snaps. Everybody thinks he's not going to play many snaps on offense. How do we know this? We can't be so certain of that. And with BTJ looking like he's not going to be moved, does this really allow for another receiver? We don't know, man. We just don't know. There's still a lot of things to shake out here in these free agency draft sheet streets, right? The free agency period and the draft, the whole off season. Teams can make trades, right? You're not bound by this window to have to make a deal right now in case they want to make a deal, right? Any one of these teams, especially like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're not bound to have to do anything right this moment. Just remove Benson from the ranks altogether, huh? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that, Hartman. But it's one of those things where, what if he gets like cut or something and then he signs with somebody, right? I mean, so I'm not going to delete him totally out of the ring. I'm just going to push him way down. I want to still keep his name out there because maybe he ends up as part of that Seattle backfield or something. We don't know, right? Who knows? Oh, there's one guy who I didn't give the nuke button. So let me go ahead and do that now. Here we go. Another guy who gets the nuke button. Caleb Johnson with the signing of Rico Dowdle. Yes. Your fantasy value is blown to shreds. You have no more fantasy value. Caleb Johnson gets the nuclear button. All right. Just had to do that. Back on track. Okay, let's see where we are. We are on deck. Wow, good timing. Almost missed out. I don't need a quarterback. What do we want to do here? I didn't get to my NFC because Theo Johnson, you got nuked as well, buddy. Yeah, you did. Theo Johnson, you got nuked as well. But we'll talk about that on the NFC. Troy Franklin. Do we want to add a Troy Franklin share? Why not? He can have some big games. Every once in a while, Troy Franklin can do something. All right, we got our 3-5-7-1 through 16 rounds. 3-5-7-1 build. Will we do it? We did it last year. What am I talking about? The one tight end build. And it was McBride was our only one we had last year. Where we got all the way to week 16. I believe it was in a Husky, which is a smaller contest, so maybe we don't do it in such a large field contest. But yeah, I had a one tight end build, man. Almost got there. It was just a couple points shy, reaching a final. We will interact. We will implement another one tight end build, but it won't be in this big contest here, especially with 20 rounds. It's more for the 18 rounder, where I might do something like that. But here in 20 rounds, we'll go ahead and at least get 2 tight ends. Okay. So we see that we have Tua getting some love, huh? Tua with the Falcons. Let's see, who he got? Does he have London? Does he have Pitts? Yeah, he has Pitts. Okay. Everybody's correlating, which is always a good thing to do. You don't want to have to hit the 9-leg parlay, right? You want to be able the microphone is running out of power, it tells me. How did that happen? Thought I charged you up, but we got it going. I had to turn off one of the lights. Let's see what we are doing here. We're on the clock. Let's go with Gunnar Helm. Gunnar. And Fryermuth. My Caleb Johnson rankings haven't been updated as well, because he will definitely be falling as well. Gunnar. Double tight end we went with there. So yeah, we got a balanced build here. 3-5-7-3. Looking like a 3-6-8-3, right? That's the standard build with non-standard combinations for me. So that's why I'm okay doing a standard build here, because I don't have this kind of grouping. And I'm okay with that in this build. Okay. So we definitely are not going with any other position other than these two. Okay. Let me check my lighting. I think I'm going to have to bump you up here, buddy. All right. Bright as we can go. Okay. 10 picks away. Okay, let's look at the full board one time. All right. 3573, YUUNGMOOLAHH. TJ or TJ 4473. And out of the one spot, the unconventional approach with DJ Speedy. He went 2683, but he really pulled up some guys. And it's okay. Yeah, this is reaching season, man. The season to be reaching. We're in the middle of the 19th round. We got 2 picks coming up on the corner. All right. Let's see what we got. We don't need a tight end. We just doubled up on the previous turn. But here is where we might want to go ahead and look at some of our flyers that we want to draft right here. Receiver room is pretty strong. I think we're going to, do that. Got to double up on the backfields here. Double up on the backs. We're going to go Marshawn Lloyd, Le'Veon Moss, who I'm coming around to. Nobody's drafting this guy. I think he has a pretty good profile. He didn't work out at the combine, which keeps him under the radar. Le'Veon Moss, a guy to keep your eye on. So we ended this draft with a 3773 build. We got Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Jacoby Brissett as a strong quarterback room. Yeah. And fully stacked as well. We got Omarion Hampton heading our backfield with Rico Dowdle. Pulled him up a little bit just to see, get some shares in his new destination. Should have a pretty good role. At least a 60-40 split, I'm thinking. Minimum, right? Probably maximum too. So basically a 50 to 60% maybe. Hopefully he's on the higher end of the 55 to 65, but he could be on the lower end, right? So it's in that range, I believe. But I think he'll get the high value touches at the goal line and in the red zone. At least on first, second down, possibly. But who knows? They might utilize both these dudes equally in all situations. At the goal line, mainly short yardage, I think they would go to Rico Dowdle. Third downs, both of them should get some third downs as well. So we'll see how that split ends up. But then we also added a high potential guy, right? Plenty of upside. This Mike Washington guy, man, he's lit up the combine. He's got plenty of upside. So we added him to this room with Rashad White. Did that at the 11-12 turn. So we needed to reinforce our backfield. Then we added Braylon Allen, in a committee. Hey, the Breece Hall situation is not yet settled. Do not rule out a trade, maybe even during the season, right? Things happen during the season. They trade players. And so Braylon Allen, we added to this room. We like that and how he fits in this build. And then we added our 2 late darts in Marshawn Lloyd and Le'Veon Moss, guy who I got my eye on, Le'Veon Moss. And that rounds out our 7-player backfield. We also went with 7 receivers. Got Zay Flowers paired up with Lamar. Then we got Christian Watson and Matthew Golden paired up with Jordan Love. We got Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson paired up or fully stacked along with Trey McBride with Jacoby Brissett. And then we have Travis Hunter, which we are very low on his share, so we just added a share here. Troy Franklin rounding out the wide receiver room. The aforementioned Trey McBride with our full Arizona Cardinal stack. Gunnar Helm and Pat Freiermuth. All right, so that's our 3773 build. And let's go ahead and see what else we can offer. Let's jump into, hopefully, since it's the middle of the day, let's see what the little board streets are offering. If we can't get into a little board, we will jump over into DraftKings. Yeah. 3 hours left on my clock. We'll go ahead and milk that one. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a little board. Let's check out the chat, see if we got any comments. Benson and G. Yeah, let me go ahead and adjust my rankings. We are going to do one more draft upcoming. Just want to put a little tweak into my rankings. Just so I won't get auto drafted and get one of these guys I don't really want to do. I don't want that to ever happen. Well, you get auto drafted and you get a guy who's hasn't been moved in your rankings, and then you take him on accident because you didn't move him. That would be a horrible feeling, right? Horrible. Just horrible. So we got to move some dudes way down and way up. Okay. This guy here. All right, let's go ahead and join a little board. We're going to do that right now. Again, you want me to do a big board? Okay. The people have spoken. Do a big board, bro. All right, Nap God, you going to get in? You in, Nap God? Because if we're going to do a big board, I want you to be in there, man. Okay, let's count down right now. We are going to count down and do a big board. All right. Turn down this little music here. Put on pause. Okay, 10, 9, joining a big board. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're entered the big board. Let's do it. Oh, one more to start. Hope you got in, buddy. All right. Maybe we're part of another stream. Let's see what's going on these streets. All right. Nap ball is in, my man. Okay, we back. We neck and neck, man. Okay, man. Let me see if you got any superior drafting skills. I'm sure you do. They'll be on display. All right. Let's do it. Turn the music back on. All right. Just updated my rankings. Had to take a couple guys out of there because I don't want to get auto drafted, man. Sometimes when you're doing these streams, you lose track of the moment, and you can get auto drafted, right? Then I get auto drafted on this dude I just don't want. I'd be pissed. But let's do it, man. Good luck to you. All right, where we at? Big board, 8 picks away, 7 picks away. That must be the draft right there. I'm in the 10th hole. Nap ball. We got nap ball in the 9th hole. Fantasy dog 1. I don't know too many of these users, but let's do it. Good luck to everyone. All right. I think this is the season to be reaching. I'm going to have to reach into my bag on this one. So we got a guy, Natball, who's also here listening. So I might do some unorthodox stuff, man. Just a heads up. It could get wild. It could get nasty. But one thing it will be is interesting. Yeah. We're going to do this. All right. I'm on Ross St. Brown. We're going Genty, man. We're going Genty. Yeah. Tyler Linderbaum about to clear some holes up in the middle, man. And Genty will be running without getting contacted, right? Because this dude was just getting smacked 5 yards in the backfield damn near every play last year. I was like, man, can anybody block a guy for a second? I mean, it was just getting massive penetration on the Raiders. Every play, this guy's having to dodge somebody. As soon as he touches the ball, he got to dodge somebody. That's going to wear you down after a while. You ain't going to, I mean, he still was breaking tackles, but now when he get a little bit of space to create, Genty's going to be a totally different player this year. Yeah. All right, we're going to get the start we're looking for because this is a certain start I was looking for, Natball. And it might get it right here. I got it. Yeah. Genty Love. The young dynamic duo. Yeah, I know it's not 100% unique. Some people got it, but I got one here. That's what I wanted to do. The double anchor start, Genty Love, which is what we were looking to start out with. Kenneth Walker, nice pick, man. The dueling AFC West counterparts. Raiders versus Chiefs. Raiders coming for the Chiefs, man. Yeah, this year. If we hold on to Crosby and he's okay, he's healthy, Raiders can win this division. Yep, you heard it here first. That's if Mendoza's adequate. If he's not a bum, if he ain't a bust, if he just gives us adequate play, Raiders can win this division. Yeah. Over Denver. Yeah. And the Chargers. It's going to be a competitive division, man. Very competitive division. Won't be the first time a team went from worst to first, and it won't be the last. All right, let's see what the board's looking like. Do we have let me make sure I'm not showing the old stuff. Okay. We got the board up, right? Does Love going to Tennessee throw you off? No, I think that's actually a good spot. I think getting Dayball is one of those things that is going to, really upgrade this offensive attack. Because last year under those Callahan and then Mike McCoy, I mean, they just couldn't get it going, man. They were just handcuffing Cam Ward, and I think Dayball is a pretty good play designer, and his scheme's pretty good. So I think if Love goes there, that the dynamic Love will only and help that offense, right? So I'm okay with him going there. Pollard has some good games, and this guy is a lot more dynamic than Pollard. Pollard is good, but this dude's on a different level. So yeah, I think it's great if he goes there. Hey, what's up, Hoop? Right. Yes, we're back, man. We're getting in these streets, man. We're doing it. And I might do a double header tonight, in fact. I might come back tonight. In fact, I'm looking to do that. Okay. Double header Wednesday. All right, let's see where we at on this draft. We are on the clock. Almost got caught slipping. Let's get a Tetaroa share. Tetaroa, my melon. Yeah, I would have taken Etienne, man. You know that was a good pick. I definitely would have taken Etienne for a 3 robust start here. 3 running backs. Let's see. That ball starting off strong, man. Good luck to us, man. I'd love to see both of us getting out of this pot. All right, we're on deck. Breece Hall still available? What? Y'all just want to give me that one? Are we going to take it or are we going to go Colston? Loveland. All right, we're shaking it up. Going with Loveland. I'll give you Breece. You're welcome. We're going with Loveland. Because my double anchor will be enough for me. I don't want to add no more. I got a specific strategy on this one. I'm going to stick to it. We're going to stick to the plan. How tempting it was to take Breece, but I got to stick to the program, man. Sticking to it. Okay, let's see what's going on in this draft. Moving right along. Burden went right. Oh, man. The Bears are getting even pricier. What is going on with the Chicago Bears? Everybody can pay off these values, right? Burden, Loveland, Odunze, Swift, Monangai. They all can't pay off. Somebody's going to not pay off. Just hope it's not the guy I'm drafting. Right? But somebody is going to fail. Whether it's by injury, whether it's by just they got kind of just left out of the pie, man. The pie ain't going to be that big for 5 people to pay off within 5 rounds of the draft. Within 5 rounds of the draft, you're drafting like 5 dudes on the same team. Damn. All right. Dave 3223. Who he got? Who he got? Puka, London. London 22. Kyron. Jonte. Waddle. Nice build. Z-Rye. Z-Rye, the new guy. He's in the middle. Denon Badger. How's he faring? JT. Bowers. Josh. Devonta. Judkins. Strong. Oh, this is going to be a tough pod, man. Natball, you and I got our work cut out for us, man. This is not going to be an easy mark. These dudes are doing their thing, man. 35% Breece Hall. Woo-wee. That's a lot, man. I hope it works out, man, because I think I'm a little scared that they might have a bit of a committee over there. I don't know. All right. We're on the clock again. Yeah. We love this guy right here, man. Yeah, we're going Harrison, man. Harrison, I think, is going to surprise this year. I'm not buying all this Michael Wilson hype, man. Michael Wilson was the beneficiary of Harrison not being there last year. And then all that consolidation and pass volume. They were consolidated. They had tremendous volume because they fell behind every single game. And then Marvin Harrison wasn't there. That's why Michael Wilson shined. Man, Marvin Harrison's about to blow the doors off of Michael Wilson this year, man. Do you not understand this? Yeah, blow the doors off of him. Yeah, that was a fluke, man. I don't buy into flukes. All right. DK. Yeah, DK is coming back with our guy Rodgers. Rodgers will be back in the saddle, right? Has no choice. He wants one more run, right? He doesn't want to go down with just one title. Doesn't he have to give it while he can? This might be his last hurrah, though. He's looking a little old and slow. I mean, looking a little bit like Elvis in his later days, right? In his last days, man. Started getting fat in the belly and looking a little slow and barely able to move, but he can still sling the rock, but he just can't drop back that fast, right? But you know, this might be his last hurrah. So he'll come back. He'll be back. Rogers ain't dead. Nice and blunt. What's up, man? Hit me back, man. I hit you up on the email. Thanks for checking in, buddy. I'm doing great, man. Yeah. Let's do it, man. I will not be doing another draft, but I might jump in another stream later tonight. I might have another one. The doubleheader, man. I'm excited today. I got the new intro. I'll play it on the outro. For those who are just checking in, it's kind of fire, man. I got a new song, new intro, and we debuted it already to start the show. For those who didn't catch it, we'll probably play it at the outro right after this draft. Not probably. We're going to do it. Fire, man. All the descriptions for the intro is all the info for the intro is in the description to this video. Shout out to my collaborator. And that would be Hyssop Bliss Collective. All right. So we got pick coming up. That ball going 3-3-0-3-3. I'm neck and neck with him with 0-2-3-1. Pretty similar. Tyler Warren, man, I would have liked to get Tyler Warren right there. Okay. Let's see what we got. Don't do it now, boy. Don't you do it. All right, let's see what you gonna do. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this guy right here. Yup, that's my guy, Harold Fannin Jr. Yeah, love this guy. Double tight end, Harold Fannin, Colston Loveland. 2 breakout second-year dudes. Yeah, going big on both of those dudes this year. All right. This plan is being executed pretty good here. The plan is in effect. We loving this build so far. Who am I going to go with at quarterback? Man, we're going naked dart, man. Yeah, sorry, neighbor's owner, but we got to look out for my team. So we're going with dart. Yeah, we'll take them naked. Don't have a lot of naked darts, but we'll take one here. All right. If you haven't already, please take the time, smash the like button for your boy, Young Moolah. Certainly appreciate it. Can't do this without your support. All right. Okay. What is going on? Let's look at the board. Check out the board here. Last couple of rounds. We're heading toward the end of the 8th. Nat Ball with the 1-3-4-0. Young Moolah with the 1-2-3-2. Nick Saucer next to me, 1-3-4. Okay. Who's got? Receivers still looking okay. Yeah. Still okay with the receivers that are left on the board. And let's go. Wandell. Yeah, I think I might have wanted Wandell on this one. To pair with Jeremiah Love as a potential teammate stack, but that's all right. 98, a little rich for me. But I would have taken like 105, 106. I don't know about 98. But that may be the price that you have to pay now, right? Because guys are moving up in the ranks with this free agency news. Warranted or not warranted, it's just going to happen. Okay, 2 picks away. Let's see what we want to do here. We are definitely not taking a tight end, so we can deactivate that. Oh, yeah. We'll go with this guy. Yeah. Michael Spitman. Yeah. Got the double Pittsburgh. We'll take it. Yeah, I haven't been getting many shares of Pittman until he just signed. Now I've been getting some shares lately. And, you know, he's one of those just solid dudes. Usually gives you a good floor during weeks. And who knows? Maybe he has a guy like Rodgers may really appreciate a guy like Pittman, right? He's always kind of had those kind of targets that he just trusts, right? You know, the Alan Lazard types. You know, those guys who can just, the Randall Cobb types. And Pittman could maybe fit that kind of a role for a guy like Rodgers where he just trusts this guy. He's got good hands. He's always open. He can catch the ball in tight windows. So look for him and Rodgers to build a pretty good, strong, you know, camaraderie here. And so I think it's not out of the question. I want a Jonah Coleman share. I do. And I'm going to not take it, though. Oh, they got me. Wasn't quick enough. But we're all right. We're all right. Yeah, I was going to snipe you, man, and backstack Baker. But we got another alternative plan. Yeah. Jonah Coleman's fine. I do want to share another share of him. Yeah, I like Jonah Coleman, man. I think he's one of those dudes who can be a part of a committee. He's not like a feature dude. But if he gets hammered draft, they'll get one of these dudes like a Coleman, Mike Washington, or Jadarian Price, late first, back into the early. They might move back into the late, early second because they got that last pick in the first, right? They might just move back, you know, 4 or 5 spots into the second, 3 spots into the second for somebody who might want to jump up to slot into their slot and maybe draft like a Ty Simpson or something. Because teams always want to try to get that. But you know, that potential quarterback, you know, of the future late in the first, they'll try to trade up and get that so they can get that 5-year deal, whatever. And so look for the Seahawks to either trade back a few slots and draft the running back they want, or they just draft them in the second round. Who knows? And they sign another guy in free agency. But they're going to do something. They have a plan. They just didn't want to spend that capital, it looks like, that kind of salary on Kenneth Walker. They didn't want to invest that much into the running back spot. So they're going to do something, though. Look for them to draft somebody. That's what I expect them to do. Okay. Let's see what else we got going. Getting a little hungry. It's one of those early in the morning. I didn't get time for breakfast or anything. So we're going to eat right here on camera, man. Excuse me. But I got to get a little something. A little nutritious. Multi-grain, Nutri-Grain, boy. A little nutrition in your life. Okay, we're coming up here shortly. Mike Wash here. Let's see what Netball does. Okay. Do we go Diggs? Nah, we're not going Diggs, man. We're going Higgins. Pulling up Higgins a little bit. Just a little bit. But we needed another receiver here. Receivers are thinning out in this area. Oh, no, we got Higgins a little past ADP. All right. Yeah, that's fine. What the quarterback spot look like? Looks like we're going to get this guy. That's what it looks like. CJ Stroud, Higgins. Okay. Not mad at that at all. We got the 2-3-5-2. Netball coming with the 2-4-4-2. Yeah, we're pretty neck and neck, man. On Bill. Pretty close. Yeah, I like your team, man. Kittle. I like the Kittle pick right there. With Purdy also, yeah. Pearsall Purdy. What you think about Mike Evans? Are you a Niners fan, Netball? You like the Niners? Or you just going with you think they're going to be good this year on offense? Or are you a Niners fan? Yeah. I tend to think the Niners could surprise as well this year. I'm not really a Lions fan. All right. Detroit. The D. Yeah, what do you think of that Isaiah Pacheco signing? When I saw the Isaiah Pacheco signing, and the first thing I said was, wow, Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely the 101 now. This increases his stock that they added sorry-ass Pacheco. Yeah, Pacheco stinks. So this doesn't impact Gibbs at all. It gives him a boost. Yeah. But yeah, the Lions. What about Taylor Decker? Are they going to replace that guy? Yeah. Just ain't going to add nothing. But we're running into the defenders, running into walls and shit. This is like the guy with the least amount of vision I've ever seen in running back. Well, not ever, but one of the. Just doesn't have any vision. But yeah, I mean, you can save some wear and tear on Gibbs by, a little change of pace. I would have went with Keaton Mitchell myself. Keaton Mitchell, explosive. He fits the mold a little better to me. He could be a mini Gibbs. But, yeah, Decker. I was surprised at that. Hopefully they got a plan in place, though. But we'll see. They usually fortify that offensive line pretty good. Okay, what we're looking like here. We are going to go with this one. Yeah. Ayuk to the Commanders. Yeah. I can see it. Connecting the tea leaves already. 1 year, prove it to me deal with incentive-laden contract. Brandon Ayuk expected to be released by the Niners, it says, if they haven't already done it. So we'll see if he got anything left. He might be damaged goods, could be injured, but hey, at this price, I'll take him. I'll take a chance. Adding him to this room ain't going to hurt me. Okay. Where we want to go here? Oh, yeah. Goodness, guy. Price is about right at his ADP right now. Been loading up on Jonathan Brooks. It's worth the risk, worth the gamble. Here, there's some good reports coming out about this guy. If he's fully back to health, watch out. This could be the steal of the draft. Fantasy draft, that is. Yeah, Jonathan Brooks could be the steal of the draft. You heard it here. Yeah, GAB Sports. And I am loading up. I got about 50%, 45%, something like that, of Jonathan Brooks. And that's about 60 drafts. About 40%. Give or take 2 or 3, I think. All right, let's see who we want in the next spot. Any of these guys fall, they're on my team. Or it could be a smoke screen, because I know they ain't falling. That's not who I really want. Okay. Let's do it. Let's see what the board looks like. Coming around the turn, Jack Meckler, 2562. Tyreek, Boston, Kelsey, Willis, Kincaid, Pollard, Godwin. He likes old guys. Godwin, Kelsey, Tyreek. Not a fan of old guys in football. Just not. Devontae Adams even at it. Football is a young man's sport. The biggest games are almost always going to come from the explosive young dudes. But, hey, there could be these seasons where the old guys kind of, outperform their ADP basically. Just don't see the monster games from most of these guys that you're going to need to take contests down. Yeah, going for upside, man. Got to explode at the right time in these contests, especially when you get to the postseason. You better be scoring about 170 fantasy points. You better explode to win first place. So I go with the explosive guys. That's just my MO. Hey, I tricked y'all. I'm going to get one of my dudes. We're going with DK. Shamir DK. Okay. Yeah, Tennessee. I don't know if Tennessee's going to take Love, but if they do, I got Shamir DK and Love. But what I do think they will have to consider is if one of those edge rushers is on the board, Arvell Reese or David Bailey. If I'm the GM, I'm pulling the trigger on one of those guys. Yeah. We can get a receiver, running back, second round. Excuse me. But I don't know if you can get an edge rusher of that caliber in the first round. If Likely was here, I would take him. I don't really want Theo Johnson. He was a guy I was supposed to move down. Torrey Horton, not buying all this rhetoric that he's going to be losing all his value. No, he's not. With the re-signing of Rashid Shaheed, Torrey Horton is still going to light it up, in my opinion. This guy was coming on strong, and Seattle could be forced to pass a little bit more than expected based on, they haven't really addressed the running back room. Charbonnet could be out most of the season. They could be behind the sticks a little bit where they're passing a little more than they were this year. And Torrey Horton will definitely get in the mix there as part of that pass game. And, I think he's still a good value at his current ADP. I'm even pulling him up here. I pulled him up at this point. More of a roster build. consideration there. Yeah, I know. I know. There'll be some guy who does something froggish. But that's okay. Don't do it. Okay. Let's get back to the chat, see what's going on. Brooks could, if and when Chuba goes down, Brooks kills. Yeah. Or there's a scenario where he just outclasses Chuba. You know, they're going to give Chuba first crack. He's a loyal soldier and all that. I understand. But this guy might just be way better than him, too. But, you know, we'll see. I just look for it mostly to be a split. Some sort of split, 60-40, 65-35, 50-50. I don't know. Yep. Yeah, Brooks definitely has that upside. I would agree. I think he's one of those guys that could be potentially a league winner. Oh, yeah. Oh, no problem, man. Oh, they spamming me? All right. GAB, man. We legit, man. All right. I'm on the clock. No, we are not on the clock. We are 2-3 picks away. Okay. We got I Am Manure. Not a fan of I Am Manure, man. I just don't think he's that good. I think he's more of a developmental guy. They just didn't have anybody last year. They're going to bring in some reinforcements. What are they going to do with Ridley? Is Ridley going to get cut? I don't think he will. Okay, let's go ahead and lock up our third stack here with Aaron Rodgers. Going back to Pittsburgh, we got the Pittsburgh double, DK Pittman. 3-4-8-2. All right, how we doing on this Wednesday, midday on the East Coast? It's still the morning hours here on the West Coast, up early in the morning, dressed in black. Don't ask why. I'm dressed in a suit and tie. But I'm actually got an Iverson jersey. It's not a suit and tie. That was just Ice Cube, little snippet for my dead homies. Pour one out. All right. We need a running back. We need a running back. George Holani. Damon Claiborne. Go on, Claiborne. Actually, Hamani has a role right now. We don't know. He might keep it. We'll go ahead and go with Holani. They might like this guy. I don't know if they like Holani or not, but he's on the team and nobody else is. So they might like him for all I know. He started to play a little bit last year when Charbonnet went down, so it's possible they like this dude. Loading up our queue with running backs. That's what we're going to do. I'm not going to try to hide the fact we're taking the rest of the running backs. Let's see who we like. This guy. This guy. None of these folks. I haven't moved my guy back up into my rankings, but this dude right here, yeah, we'll get some shares. Le'Veon Moss, underrated dude. We're going to be taking some of him. Okay. I'm okay with any of these dudes. So, yeah. Let's see what it looks like. here in the last round or two. Coming around the corner, down for the home stretch. 18th, 19th round. Mike Washington Flournoy on the corner. Geno Smith. I do not like the Geno signing. If you heard earlier, I gave both A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson the nuclear bomb. I think their value just got nuked with the signing of Geno Smith, who's been horrible. He was terrible for the Raiders last year. Don't blame just the offensive line. This dude could not read the field. He was throwing in double coverages too much often. Just not seeing the field. He was panicking when he get the slightest bit of pressure. He's looking like a coward under it back there. I'm not high on Geno. I think he's washed. Don't like that signing for the Jets at all. They should have went with Tua, Cousins. They should have traded for Mac Jones. Anything but bringing this dude on. He's going to kill those dudes' value, I believe, over in New York. Don't like that signing. Just my take. Maybe he does well. Maybe he bounces back. Maybe he's back in New York and forgets what happened the first time. But what if he has PTSD? Because they booed the shit out of, excuse my French. The first time he was there, they ran this dude into the ground. Once he started messing up. So I don't know if this is a good fit. 20th round, we're going to go ahead and hedge against the CMC builders with Jordan James. All right. We'll go ahead and go over a recap of YUUNGMOOLAHH and Nap Ball's team, who I know is in here. Anybody else want to recap? I'll give you my honest thoughts. If I don't like your team, I'm going to tell you so. Don't take it personal. But I won't be too harsh. I'll just be kind of critical, constructively. And you don't have to like my team either. It's fine. I don't look at it. Nothing's ever personal, in my opinion. You can hate my team all you want. But I know my strategy. I got some winners in my portfolio. Don't know which ones it is, but there are some winners in there. And we just hope one of them bubbles all the way to the tippy top. But I can feel it. It's coming. All right, so we're going to go ahead and recap some of the teams, and then we're going to go ahead and play that intro. Stick around. Listen to it. The song is fire. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and do that right here. Let's go ahead and go over a couple of teams in here. Right? I think Tua could do something in Atlanta. Let me ask this question real quick. Yeah, I think Tua could do something for a short period. The league always kind of catches up to Tua, so maybe with these new weapons, he'll start off fast, but then after a while, he'll just flame out. So eventually, they're going to have to go to Penix, I think. But I think Tua will probably start off maybe as the starter because they might not want to rush Penix back. But I think Tua, he can keep the value high of those guys over there, Pitts and as well as London. So I think it's okay. And he's also a check down Charlie. So Bijan is liable to catch 80 balls, right? So I think he'll keep the offense moving. And he's got great weaponry around him, right? He got 3 top 10 picks surrounding him, so he should be able to do something. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and review those teams. Then we'll drop the outro. And then we're going to go ahead and get out of here for right now. Okay. So we are looking at our guy, Nap Ball. Let's go over your team first. The Nap Ball, Nap Dog, picking at the 9 slot right next to me. And he has a 3-6-8-3 build. Very standard, but also, hey, man, you don't have to get too froggish in some of these drafts. So it's wise to go with the standard builds often, especially in drafts that are pretty solid. And this was a pretty solid draft room, pretty strong. So he's got Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, which we just briefly talked about. And like the quarterback room. Yeah, definitely like this quarterback room. It's very sound, good high floors, and some ceiling games mixed in there with Purdy and Goff. And Tua, we will see. He should get first crack, I think, because Penix may be slow to, rehabilitate. And so I think that could lend well for his serve him well. All right, let me go ahead and turn this music off as I continue to talk about Netball's team. And then we got a running back room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. We got Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he jumped up and be buying that hype on that one. And I don't blame you. Going to Kansas City, which is a great landing spot. And then we got Travis Etienne. I did really want him to slip if you wouldn't have taken him. I was definitely going to add him to YUUNGMOOLAHH's team. But that was a good pick there. I like the move of Travis Etienne. And then he got a gift. I gave you a gift in Breece Hall. And I just had a different build in mind. But I do like Breece Hall at that falling price tag. I was a good, strong pick because he did fall a few picks. And I did have him in consideration, but I decided to go with a different build. And so you're welcome. And then you got the Tyrone Tracy, which is he hasn't been impacted as of yet. He nor Scatterbo through the free agency. Will they be impacted in the draft? And will Harbaugh follow through on his little kind of threat almost to take Jeremiah Love? I don't think they will, but we'll see. So you got Tyrone Tracy, which I like that pick. It's Sean Tucker. Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't signed yet. Or did he? Am I missing any news? I wasn't really keeping up with the news in the last 20, 30 minutes or so. But Sean Tucker should find a landing spot here shortly, right? Sean Tucker. So I think that will be a pretty good pick there for you. And then Alvin Kamara. Don't have a lot to say about Kamara because it's kind of a fluid situation. But you did cuff him with Etienne. He's the cuff. So you got the tandem there in case he does stick around, which, he can have some meaningful games too. He can have some contributions. I do like the pairing by having both of those guys. But on its own value, I don't really like Kamara. But since you did pair him with Etienne, I do like that combo. Amon Ra anchoring the wide receiver room with Roma Dunze, Jordan Tyson, Ricky Pearsall, Omar Cooper, Pat Bryant, and Jalen Naylor. Yeah, Amon Ra paired with your Jared Goff. Yeah, I like the skinny there. And you also got Laporta. Yeah, so, and you got Roma Dunze. I do like him at his price because he's the cheapest of those receivers in Chicago. And you got Ricky Pearsall. As we'll go over to your tight end room, Laporta, Kittle, Washington. So Ricky Pearsall with Kittle for your full 49er stack. That's a nice touch there, buddy. And you got Laporta and Amon Ra with your Jared Goff stack. Oh, man, I like this team, man. Team very strong. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, really strong. And Darnell Washington late. Hey, man, who knows? He can get some touchdowns, right? I do like sneaky picks like that sometimes to add to your roster. Yeah, overall, very strong build, man. Like that team. You and I should be competing for a spot here, hopefully, right? To get out of this pod, which will be tough. All right, let's go over YUUNGMOOLAHH's team. We got a 3-7-8-2. And we went with Jackson Dart, CJ Stroud, Aaron Rodgers. So we did take a Dart naked. I didn't have a problem because I wanted a little upside quarterback in this kind of a build. So I didn't want to really wait on the quarterback to try to find the stacking partner. I was just like, let me just take this guy right here, right now. Dart, as he was a couple picks past ADP. So we do like that quarterback room. And then we went the double anchor, Ashton Genty, Jeremiah Love. Then we tacked on some other backs for some upside later in the draft. We got Jonah Coleman in the middle of the draft. And then later we went with Jonathan Brooks, George Halani, who could find a role there in Seattle, Damon Claiborne, one of the rookies I like. And we're hedging against CMC with Jordan James, looking for that leverage. All right. And then we got a receiver room of Tetairoa McMillan, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, and Michael Pittman to pair with our Rodgers for the double. And then we got Jaden Higgins in the skinny CJ Stroud stack. Then we're with Brandon Ayuk, who I believe is headed to the Washington Commanders on a 1-year incentive-laden deal. Then we got Shamar DK and Torrey Horton, a guy who we are still remaining high on, regardless of the signing of Rashid Shaheed. Colston Loveland, Harold Fadden Jr., rounding out our tight end super strong room. And so we stuck with just the 2 tight ends there. And there you have it. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and get into that outro, which is also my intro video.
We rise, we rise, we rise. Oh, we climb, we climb, we climb. Oh, this time, son, we go. Victory on our mind. Gotta work, push, go. Gotta work, push, go. Let's see how I start this if we in this game, serving a strategic purpose. Went from underground, now I've reached the surface. When we claim the chip, it ain't a fluke, you know we work for this. New breed superhero, a hybrid dragon plus Michael Jordan, breathing fire into this game. In the air, I'm steady floating, destined for this role since my birth years. Golden best ballin' for life. It's Moolah on a mission. Tommy hot takes analysis, so point delivered with precision. Setting moves to this game, invoking martial law. Going all out, we won't stop. Win, lose, or draw. Oh, we rise, we rise, we rise. Oh, we climb, we climb, we climb. This time, Zion, we go. Victory on our mind. Joe slow harmony chant. Joe slow harmony chant. Joe slow harmony chant. Victory on our mind. Trust a low harmony chant. Work, push, go. Giant work, push, go. Let's see how I start this. What we in this game, serving a strategic purpose. Went from underground, now I've reached the surface. When we claim the chip, it ain't a fluke, you know we work for this. New breed superhero, a hybrid dragon plus Michael Jordan, breathing fire into this game. In the air, I'm steady floating, destined for this role since my birth year is golden.